Oh my god, what is going on in there? So welcome back to my series on Prison Architect. We've worked out some basic strategic capacities of the prison, and today we're going to look at the minimum security dormitories and the medium security cell blocks. We've worked out some approximate numbers. Those might change as we develop the cell blocks. And thank you to Sir Robin5242 for pointing out that I completely underestimated how many people I'd accounted for in medium security. So we are going to need a bigger kitchen when we get back to that. So I'm going to have a look at the medium security first. First thing I'm going to do is unpause the game, because even though I'm not basically using the sort of God mode for construction, you still have to unpause it to allow it to build. So I'm going to build some brick foundations over the area which I've allowed for each block, and each one of these blocks I'm going to basically copy with a blueprint, so I only need to create it once. And to allow the blueprint to construct, I'll have a jail door entrance at the very end of the block. So now the building should construct. If you're doing this not in sandbox mode, you will obviously have your workmen come and construct this, and you can speed the time up to enable that to go quicker, or you can sort of play it in real time, however you want to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to develop a cell block in the middle, because I think I'm already going to reduce the numbers up here to get security and staff areas, taking a chunk out of this top block, which is something I hadn't considered at the start. But that's absolutely fine, because we were going to take our time thinking this through properly anyway. So I'm going to build the first walls, and we're going to work out this cell block. First thing I think I'd like to do though, let's get some lights on, let's get some power going. I'm going to build a power station, and we'll build this amount of capacitors to start with. And I'm going to run some electrical conduit the full length, and hopefully we'll get some lights. Interestingly, the power conduit is not working through walls, so we'll manually connect to these areas. It's as if that the workmen can't access this to actually install the power, even though I'm doing it through a sandbox mode. So that's fine. In terms of the door position, I'm going to place the jail door towards the top, so that when prisoners come back from the central area, they just come in through the door. They don't have to walk all the way to the bottom, go in a door, and then walk the way back up the dormitory. Creating a map with just even one expansion to the bottom, to the top, to the left, which I've done, starting to create walking distances which start to become a little bigger than perhaps the game was originally designed for. So you don't really want to make it even worse for walk and distance times. So I'm going to put bunk beds in the dormitory. And we're going to have an opening by the door. I'm going to position them. Originally we had 9 rows. 5, 6, 7, 9. Even space for showers and toilets. So we'll see if we can achieve a similar capacity. We'll go back to back. Remember, these dormitories are going to be quite densely populated. People are not going to be in here for long, short sentences. The risk factor with dormitories as opposed to single cells is that the privacy need for the prisoners will become quite urgent and overheated. They do like to have a bit of space where they are not amongst other prisoners, and the opportunity to go back into their own cell is a benefit that satisfies the need for privacy. Privacy builds over time, so I'm going to see in minimum security whether there's any benefit to the fact that the sentences are so short that by the time that privacy need builds, that maybe they've actually already been released from the prison. So let's see. Gonna build some shower heads. What we'll do is we'll have a wall between these two. Probably not actually necessary. Going for a little bit of realism maybe. I know this might be slightly different from how I envisioned it originally. And there's not going to be an awful lot of privacy for the bathroom area either. It is what it is, unfortunately. I'm trying to make some money on this. I know we had some comments previously about where to put shower drains. Basically, this can get as wet as it wants, and as long as these drains pick up the water, that's absolutely fine. So obviously we've got flashing water symbols, because we don't have water connections for these yet. In terms of the rest of the cells, I'm going to put a few items in which might help with recreation, if I can fit them in. We're going to put some weights benches in. People like to work out in prison, as we all know. And we'll see what else we can put in that's going to make it a little bit more satisfying to be in these rooms. We'll put some TVs in. As long as these are facing the right way. Maybe some radios. So this will help satisfy and make them a little happier. Because I'm not trying to create a riot. I'm trying to create a situation where people serve the sentences, get released, everything goes smoothly. I don't want incidents. I'm not trying to create chaos. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we're going to put some windows in. Provide a bit of light. And actually, we're going to make these barred walls to this extent. The light can come through a little bit more. To make it a little brighter. Something like that. Then I'm going to put in some radiators, which are obviously from the water utility side of things. Hopefully that will satisfy it. Then we'll create the room, and we'll just make sure we've got everything in the room that we need for a dormitory. Slightly different from a cell, because cells can only contain one person. And it's accepted that we've got all the objects that we need for the dormitory. And I believe we have the same number of prisoners that we had originally. It's a slightly different layout, slightly less showers, I think. So what we're going to do is we will clone. My correct button. Here we go. So it's F to flip, because you want the windows on the left hand side, and we don't want to rotate it. with R because we do want the showers at the bottom. So between R and F, you can flip and rotate. We will create the other block. We will create the block below. Something's blocking us from doing that. There we go. Because there was another blueprint that still hadn't constructed. And then we'll flip the blueprint again. We will create the other block. What I'm going to do up here, I'm actually going to create some security room and staff room to control the main way in and out of this cell block. And then we'll come back and take a look at the laundry numbers. So my security room, I'm going to build probably about this big. I'm going to have a basic staff room off to one side. So in terms of doors, I'll have a secure door into the security room. I think we'll have a kennel and an armory over to that side. And a simple door into the staff room. Let's make this the kennel, make this the armory. Have a secure door into there as well. So, security. Kennel. Armory. And staff room. So for the staff room we just need a wide sofa and a drinks machine. But because I have staff needs turned on, we're going to have a toilet. Sink and a mirror. So I have a sofa and drinks machine. Let's see how they get on with that. In terms of security, quite a lot of cameras in here. I think we'll have 2 CCTV monitors, door control system. Let's put a phone tap in. And then we need the office desk, chair and a filing cabinet. I know there's a mod that you can get that negates the need for these. That's fine. We've got space. It's our security room. In the kennel, we need difficult to see which way up these go. You can assume that's okay. So dog crates. Dog bowls. Dindins. And then the armory. Guard lockers. We also need a weapon rack and a table. Just need to make sure that these utilities are connected. Okay, so we have a slightly reduced numbers of these cells. Again, I'm doing that barred walls. Probably showers to about that point. Again with the bunk beds. Take them to about there. This might not be enough shower heads, but hard luck. You've got to be quick to survive in prison. If you're not going to fight for a shower, you're not going to last very long. Wonderful. Need to check our utilities and entering the room. Okay, so now we will do custom clone again. So we'll create the new clone, flip with the F. And now I've remembered about large windows. So we'll give them some windows and also some entertainment in the room as well. Which I should have done already. Some weights benches. You're very careful you don't put a weapon rack in there, you so easily could. Some TVs. Brilliant, so we just need to connect up our utilities. I think for the hot water, the boiler is going to be a stretch, reaching the hot water up to these showers. So, unfortunately for staff room or security, where should we put this? Put it there. There's going to be a water boiler on the wall. We need to build our water pump station. Don't really need this many capacitors, but we are going to put the laundry area onto them, so I'll leave space. We've got space for the capacitors around the water pump station. We will have a water boiler next to the pump station. First we'll run our cold water pipes. Small pipes off the large pipes to pick up toilets and showers. Unfortunately, you can't don't believe you can clone the services or the utilities, so you have to do this manually every time. So when we copy this over the other 5 or 6 times, we will have to do the services like this every time. Let's connect up our washing machines. So you can see the number of capacitors that we have is actually quite good. We need to connect this boiler. And these lights have become disconnected as well. And we missed some water connections. And of course the radiators haven't copied, like I was just saying. So we'll find some opportunities where we can place these. Quite unfortunate that you can't actually locate them with the main furniture objects visible, so you have to kind of guess a little bit where they're going to go. Or maybe I'm doing something wrong in that regard. So we'll see how far we can get the hot water pipes to run. We might have to build another boiler. Even in effective sandbox god mode, the hot water takes a while to come out and through the pipes. Gently feeding its way up. Is it going to make it? We don't know. I think we've actually reached the limit on this side. So you can see equidistant, that was about the limit it was going to get to. We'd actually need another boiler somewhere here to connect to this water pipe. So I feel like that's got worse since the last time I played it. I don't remember having such short runs for the hot water. Really does not go very far at all. Interesting. So we're going to have to put some intermediate boiler somewhere in this area. Well, probably one there, I would imagine. Do I put a water boiler in a dormitory? Is it going to be a problem? Seems like it's something you shouldn't do. I imagine that's probably not a good idea to put your mechanical equipment where the prisoners are. Do they need to be maintained? Don't really want to lose any more bunk beds. 232. Which is definitely down in numbers already than I had. I don't think I've got a choice. I think I'm going to have to do it. I can even dismantle this. Yes, I can. So we'll have a boiler up there. And a boiler here. We'll soon find out if going to start destroying them. I really can't remember what the risk is like. Just out of reach. Remember to connect these to the electricity and the cold water as well. See if this reaches. So we've got the power connected. Just this one location where we haven't reached. No, we are. We're okay. Just takes a little while to come through. So these boilers, I am going to build a wall and a door around them. I've decided. Pretty sure it's a bad idea. Leave them exposed. Put a secure door there. And we have a little warning sign because that still exists as a room. Should be able to right click to remove that from being a room. So you may be asking, you may have just seen the numbers that are appearing in the top right as we were developing these prison blocks. I was under the misapprehension that you build bunk beds, that becomes capacity. Well, apparently not. Maybe I should have known this before I started looking at the strategic capacity of these cells. In a dormitory, you're only allowed one prisoner per 4 squares. And in the size of this dormitory, not including the solid walls, we have 232 available squares, which are not wall. That basically equates to 58 prisoners in each one of these blocks, not 72, which is a little disappointing because that brings my numbers hugely down from the 3,000 that I thought I might be getting. But I was also hugely concerned by the size of this huge canteen to accommodate 3,000 prisoners. So at least I'm going to get a smaller, more realistic canteen. And I think lesson learned, because I haven't played this game for years. I'm not even sure I was aware of that the first time round. I just got the numbers that I was given, trying to be smarter about it, but I'm obviously as dumb as I was the first time round. So it's 58 prisoner limit, which means that these beds here are actually no one's going to sleep in them. So we can dismantle these, and I'm actually going to give them a pool table. And I think that's really the only way around. We can give them a pool table, and tell you what, a large TV and some seats. Because there's just no way, even with mods, that I can get around this hard-coded limit. So we are going to have less prisoners. So sorry about that. Sorry for misleading you, but I was just looking at the laundry numbers. I was actually thinking, well, actually, why is that like half of what I thought I needed? So here we are. So I'm going to adjust all these cells and then we'll see what the actual numbers are. So I've worked through the cells and I've taken out the beds that there's absolutely no way that I can fill, and I've given them a little bit more entertainment in their dormitories. Again, apologies for misleading you over the capacities. And oh my god, what is going on in there? We need some janitors quite quickly. That is horrendous. How can you people work in these conditions? Good lord. I know I turned that on, but for some reason I still wasn't expecting it. Good lord. Okay, so yes, apologies for misleading on the capacity. It does mean we have maybe a more realistic kitchen, one that's actually going to work, and we have some new laundry numbers. So in terms of baskets, for 316 people in the cell block, we are going to need 20 laundry baskets. So we only need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We can dismantle these laundry baskets. And you. In terms of ironing boards, we need 10. And I wasn't convinced that these were actually going to be usable anyway, because I think you do need to provide some space around them. So I'm going to make sure that they are arranged so they're not next to each other. So maybe in reality this was never going to work anyway. No idea why you're even watching this, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. That's 6. 10. Hopefully that will work. And in terms of washing machines, we only need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's dismantle these to make sure, because I've built a tiny storage area. Got enough space. Objects to be. Okay. So that would be our laundry. Utility room. I'm going to leave space for some more capacitors because I'm going to have some metal detectors at the top. So we'll call this a cleaning cupboard. So we'll just have some basic doors into these areas. Let's make that a staff door. Okay, so set the laundry room up. Set the cleaning cupboard up. Don't need to put objects in this. Objects will get brought to it. Utilities set up. How's the dog situation? Probably need a few more janitors, I would imagine. So let's set some flooring materials. In the laundry, in the cleaning cupboard, some nice white tiles. We'll have the basic concrete tiles. Utility room. White tiles for the shower areas. For that classic bathroom look. Security can have. Let's have give them something a little nicer than the standard concrete. What have we got? We can have some carpet. We'll have some carpet in the staff room, except for the toilet area. And clearly, because the dogs like to leave deposits, or has something wiped down. Everything else, standard concrete tile. Easy clean. Vandal resistant. Bless them. So next thing I want to do, because obviously we're going to be playing in... Now can I place these? Can. We're going to be playing with Fog of War on. So... we can't see it with a camera. Then we won't be able to see it. And again, just make sure the big opening is facing the way you want it to face. I wonder if this will cover both sides of the wall. I'm not sure. I'm sure everyone's going to be really well behaved in these blocks anyway. Sure we won't have any problems with misbehavior. Sure everything's going to go really well. Right? Yeah? What do you think? I think it'll be fine. I think we're going to have any problems at all. We'll connect these up. And we're going to quite quickly run out of... I think it said it was 8 per monitor. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm not building entire rooms of CCTV monitors. It's a fool's errand, because they go on break anyway. The people who are meant to be looking at these things. I don't think it really matters how many you build. Because inevitably they're going to go to the bathroom and you'll be blind as to what's really going on. So we'll have guard patrols as well. Just hope for the best. In all seriousness, this is not going to go well. We all know that. Clearly, I'm no expert at managing or running these things, as you may have appreciated. So let's put in... what did we say scanners were called? Because I can never remember. Metal detectors. Why do I keep calling them scanners? Airport scanners are scanners, right? Metal detectors. Just on the off chance that anybody coming in, and we've overloaded the power station, so we do need some more capacitors. Anybody coming in with a shank, we can try and pick them up. We're back on. So obviously the water's gone off, the water will take its time to trickle up. So that's our minimum security cell block. And I think it's perfection. I don't really think we can improve on that. And I think basically everything's going to run perfectly, isn't it? I can't see there being a problem. I think I've overlooked anything. So let's not dither about. Let's duplicate this and build all our blocks. The sooner we can get this place running, the sooner it can all collapse into a calamity. Which I'm sure you're looking forward to. Right, quick build. And what I really hated, well, I didn't hate it, but it was really annoying. Prison Architect came out, you could only do like a 5x5 blueprint. So you had to do it in pieces. We're just going to build the whole... I think you can basically blueprint an entire prison now. Wanted to. The only downside, as we've mentioned, is we have to go in and do the utilities all over again, because utilities don't copy in the blueprint. So I won't bore you with that element of it. So I've gone ahead and I have copied these cell blocks over to the full extent. 2,212 prisoners in the minimum dormitories, which is about 1,000 less than I was expecting without this dormitory minimum maximum square meterage nonsense. But here we are. 2,000 is quite sizable for a minimum population. I think I've only built a prison in its entirety about 1,000 prisoners before. So there's a couple of other things. It's already chaos. My laundry baskets are all over the place. This is what the janitors are doing. They haven't got into these areas yet. So there's a few other things we want to touch on. In the minimum security. So in logistics under room quality, basically, because I've put the same items in every dormitory so far, but we are actually going to try and encourage people to, on best behavior, move up to a better quality dormitory. So because these are actually smaller and they have less equipment in, these are high grade, 6 out of 10. And when you go into logistics and room quality, you can see what items are actually providing that grade. So the fact that we have a shower head per 4 prisoners is serving as a good thing. Table tennis is a +1. A radio per 4 prisoners. So that's a 6. And they are both 6 because they're identical. And then we have these which are 8. And the extra thing in here is that we have chairs. That's the only difference, I believe. Yeah, chairs. So there are other things you can add to increase the grading. So the first thing I'm going to do, because this is already a high grade, I'm going to take the pool table take the pool table out of these dormitories to lower the grade, because if you have a grading system, you have to have high to low, obviously. So if I dismantle, we can then see what that gives us in terms of room quality. So this is now 5. It's good to have a 5, a 6. Maybe we can have a 4 over here, a 4 and a 5. So we need to take the TVs and the radios out of these ones. At both of those, but we'll keep TVs and the radios. We'll just take it out of these. Now we have a 3, 2 5s, a 6, so 3. If we want to make that 4, we should add 1 TV back in, I think. Give them a single TV. Yeah, so 4, 2 5s, a 6. So we could have, maybe we keep these as 8s, but what can we do to make maybe these as 9s? Fans, bookshelves, water coolers. Okay, this is all new stuff. We didn't have these first time I played this. What happens if we give them not a lot of space for these, to be honest? Put in 1 water cooler. Well, already it's a 9. So all it takes is fresh water. Fresh water so you don't expire from the extreme heat. That's pretty cool. Make those 2 9s. These will be hopefully 10s if we can add, what was the other thing? A fan. Fan yourself while you're watching. No, you can't. It's blowing against the wall. Well, in any event, Look at that for grading. The only way to really reduce that to a 3 was to take the TV out. So let's do that. I'll work back on these, and I'd like to have basically a whole range of dormitories so that people are encouraged to behave well. When you behave well, you go up to the next level of room. So I'll work this through and I'll come back. So we've gone ahead and provided a different basically options of grading by taking windows out and various objects out of the rooms. So we've got hopefully some motivation for good behavior. You can end up in the nice cells that have all of the stuff in. So what I've also just made sure to do is under deployment and checking the minimum security is assigned to all these dormitories, just so minimum security only prisoners, and just making sure that the areas that I don't want prisoners of any sort to be in, such as utility and the security areas, are set to staff only. So the next episode I will go and look at the medium security cells, and hopefully I haven't made any horrendous errors apart from the error kindly pointed out to me about miscalculating capacity. So hopefully we'll get closer to actually being able to open the prison.